Increases tax credits for lower income brackets and cuts capital gains taxes.
The child tax credit's $1,600 refundable cap and adjusted for inflation.
A major economic bill. A Congressional Budget Office estimate says the bill would reduce the deficit by at least $100 billion over the next decade.
And as we confront this crisis, we're faced with both Scylla and Charybdis, dangers on both sides.
It's payday. We all love it, but we also know that a substantial chunk of our hard-earned paychecks practically vanish into thin air. You eagerly open your paycheck only to find it disappointingly smaller than you expected. You might wonder, where did all my money go? The answer, my friends, is taxes. On average, taxes gobble up a staggering 30.5% of your paycheck. That's almost a third of your income handed over to the government. But here's the kicker.
This is like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me.
The government didn't clock in at your job and work 30.5% of your hours, did they? Yet they're still entitled to a third of what you earned. Sure, some say taxes fund the government and maintain our nation. They're partly right, but there's more to the story. Recent statistics actually reveal that 15.7% of our roads are in poor or mediocre condition, 36% of bridges need major repairs, and a whopping 24 billion pieces of roadside litter accumulate annually. So if your taxes really aren't going to improving your city, where are they really going? To uncover the truth, we need to take a journey back in time. But before we delve into the past, prepare to be shocked and surprised by what your tax dollars have actually been up to. Welcome to The Truth, to a journey into the dark side of dollars. Today's video was inspired by the book Bailout by Neil Barofsky, the book that opened my eyes and brought this video to life. As a content creator, I've always believed that knowledge is power. Reading Bailout opened my eyes to the intricate web of financial mysteries and government decisions that impact our lives. It's been a complete game changer in helping me uncover the truth and find out where our money really goes. But here's the exciting part. You can join this exploration with me too, thanks to our sponsor, Audible. You can get a 30-day free trial subscription of Audible Plus and enjoy any audiobook of your choice by clicking the link in the description below. With Audible Plus, you can listen to insightful books on the go, whether you're commuting, at the gym, or just relaxing at home. So don't miss out on the opportunity to gain valuable knowledge and information while supporting our channel for 30 days free. Click the link below, sign up for Audible Plus, and let the power of audiobooks enhance your journey into the dark side of dollars. Now, back to the video. It all started in 2008, during the 2008 financial crisis. The 2008 financial crisis was one of the most devastating global economic catastrophes the world has seen since the Great Depression in the 1930s. People lost their homes, their cars, and their retirements during this collapse in what happened in hours. The crisis was caused by predatory lending to low-income families who were approved for loans they couldn't afford and defaulted on their mortgage payments back to the banks. Big banks, including Lehman Brothers, faced astronomical losses amounting to billions of dollars in mere hours. Wall Street was a mess, and the American financial system was on its knees. These losses were so colossal that these institutions teetered on the brink of bankruptcy and even complete collapse. These institutions were facing an almost certain defeat that neither they nor the US government could accept. But this financial doomsday for big businesses all changed in one day. Meet Henry Paulson, a former CEO of Goldman Sachs and the US Treasury Secretary at the time. Paulson was undoubtedly the perfect man to solve this problem. He had experience on both sides of the field, as a CEO and as a government official. Paulson was the key figure in turning this catastrophic problem into an almost trillion-dollar treasure trove of profits for these big businesses. Paulson proposed and championed the Emergency Economic Stability Act, also known as the Bailout Act of 2008. This legislation was swiftly passed by Congress and signed into law by former President George W. Bush. The heart of the proposal was for the government to buy up $700 billion of illiquid mortgage securities. The idea behind this move was aimed to increase liquidity in the mortgage market and reduce potential losses for the financial institutions holding these securities. It was a perfect plan. Hedge fund investors and big businesses no longer had to cry themselves to sleep at night and gladly welcomed the proposal with open arms. They were overjoyed and they anticipated significant reductions in their potential losses on their balance sheets. It appeared to be a lifeline for the financial industry just barely hanging on. However, as the bailout unfolded, not everyone was happy. While the intention was to prevent a complete financial collapse, questions arose about the fairness of bailing out Wall Street while many working-class Americans crumbled. Let's not forget, the businesses being saved were in fact the same people who nearly crashed the US economy in the first place. In fact, some of these companies even made money from this crisis. Some of the companies that received the most substantial funding from the bailout included AIG, Citigroup, Bank of America, and many more to be named. Some of you may be thinking, but wait, why did the US government bail out the banks to begin with? Why not just help the taxpayers who lost their homes at the hands of these companies? Unfortunately, the answer is simple: money. The government had two choices: A, save big businesses, or B, save the American people. The choice they made was A. The government decided that it would actually be cheaper to bail these companies out rather than spend money on helping the American people victimized by these irresponsible and predatory lenders. The Bailout Act was originally intended to stabilize the US financial system during the financial crisis. It authorized the Treasury Department to purchase troubled assets, provide capital to financial institutions, and take other measures to prevent a collapse of the financial system. But instead, it feels like they just completely ignored Americans' cries for help and partnered with their buddies on Wall Street. But who are these companies that were chosen over aiding the American people, and what happened to them? Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, publicly traded government-sponsored megacorporations in the federal home loan mortgage space, received an incredible $191 billion combined in taxpayer funds. AIG, a giant in the insurance industry, received a staggering $67 billion in taxpayer funds, yet their practices leading up to the crisis, particularly in the credit default swap market, were heavily criticized. These practices played a significant role in the company's downfall. Citigroup, a titan in the financial industry, also faced scrutiny. It was evident that the mismanagement and risky investments had led to their troubles, raising questions about the use of their $45 billion they received in bailout funds. Bank of America, another financial powerhouse that also received $45 billion and was not immune to greed either. Their acquisition of Merrill Lynch, which was on the verge of collapse, came under scrutiny with accusations of misleading shareholders for profit. But here's where the plot thickens. As the bailouts unfolded, there were challenges and unexpected twists that would leave an everlasting impact. The financial institutions receiving these massive funds were expected to use them responsibly, to lend to struggling homeowners, and to stimulate the economy. However, what transpired next left many people scratching their heads. Some of these bailout recipients didn't seem to get the memo. Instead of channeling the funds into improving lending conditions for homeowners or addressing the root cause of the crisis, some institutions continued their questionable business practices. Bonuses for executives who were at the helm when these institutions got into trouble continued to flow generously. Former AIG CEO Joseph Cassano earned a staggering $34 million in bonuses from 2000 to 2008 alone. Former Citigroup CEO Vikram Pandit raked in $10.8 million in 2008, ordered a $50 million private jet, announced huge layoffs, and jacked up credit card APRs after Citigroup had received their $45 billion in bailouts. And former Bank of America CEO Ken Lewis also earned himself an extra $10 million in bonuses in 2008. As taxpayers watched their money being funneled into the bank accounts of these businesses and CEOs, questions of fairness and accountability loomed large. It seemed that while Main Street was suffering, Wall Street was back to business as usual. Now, let's fast forward to today. Some of the businesses that received the most significant funding from the bailout faced consequences, while others seemed to emerge relatively unscathed. This complex landscape of consequences, or lack thereof, underscores the multifaceted nature of the financial crisis and its aftermath. So, as we conclude this journey through the handling of the 2008 financial crisis and its bailout, we'll explore what happened to these businesses and how it ties back to the original question of the video. How are your taxes really spent? Stay with us as we uncover the lasting effects of this pivotal moment in our nation's history. The reality is that your taxes are spent at the discretion of the government, often without direct input or opinions from the taxpayer. The Emergency Economic Stability Act of 2008 is a prime example of this. While the intent was to stabilize the US financial system, it also sparked debates about fairness, accountability, corruption, and transparency in the United States. It's just like American lawyer James Otis once said, "Taxation without representation is tyranny."
You see, even here, we live under tyranny.
Now, let's address the fate of some of the businesses we mentioned earlier. AIG, Citigroup, and Bank of America are among others that received substantial bailout funds. Here's what happened after 2008. Ken Lewis, Vikram Pandit, and Joseph Cassano, as of 2024, are all no longer CEOs at any of these companies. AIG, the insurance company, faced consequences in the form of restructuring and increased government oversight, as well as their stock dropping from a high of $1,277 a share to a mere $80 from 2004 to 2008. Citigroup and Bank of America also underwent significant changes and scrutiny, with mixed and little to no results. Ultimately, the 2008 financial crisis and its aftermath serve as a stark reminder of the separation between taxpayers, their government, and the financial industry. It highlights the need for vigilance, accountability, and transparency in how taxpayer dollars are used in a democratic system. So as you look at your paycheck and wonder where your hard-earned money goes, remember that your taxes are a part of a much larger financial ecosystem, one that can impact economies, businesses, and individuals in profound ways. It's a reminder that understanding how your taxes are spent is not only a matter of personal finance, but also a vital aspect of being an informed citizen. Thank you for exploring the dark side of dollars with us on how your taxes are really used, and we hope it has provided valuable insights into a complex and important topic. Please like, share, and subscribe for more future content, and remember, the truth lies in the details.